Morning, calendar week 19, I think. Oh, I should have checked that. Anyway, back to school. Happy Beltane to all, or Walpurgisnacht if you prefer it Germanic. The two festivals are approximately the same sort of thing in that they both happen on the 1st of May. They're both about welcoming the start of summer, and there are fires and much merriment until very late into the night. But one of them is a celebration of the fairy folk, and the other is about burning witches. Well, I have a rather soft spot for both the spirits of the rivers and the forests, and also the old crones who commune with them, so I have a rather strong preference for the former over the latter. But they're also both definitely about community and the marking of time, and I'm properly down for both of those. So let us celebrate the seasons and enjoy the brimming sense of life and being alive that they both bring. Throughout April in the garden, we're mostly trying to resist the temptation to get too ahead of ourselves. There's plenty of time, and starting things before all danger of frost has passed is mostly a false head start. And then we wake up on the 1st of May, and all of a sudden we're behind in all things. Officially, traditionally, the last frosts are the 2nd week of May, and although it can get properly warm during the day, we had 25 degrees C yesterday, most mornings have woken up to a very light frozen mist on the mown grass. That was until this week. And now it really does seem that the negative degrees might have given up for a few months, and the whole of the potager needs to be tended and worked on and filled with seeds and shoots and roots and saplings of tens of thousands of plants to nurture us until summer next year. So far, I've sown quite a few rows of roots, but I think that was the case last week as well. The leeks are looking awesome, but far too small to photograph. I start leeks off inside as early as anything else, and then transplant them when they look like a single green human hair on a Van de Graaff generator. They will now stay exactly where they are for the next 12 months, if they don't get eaten by winter wabbits. I put out 24 cabbage family seedlings, the first of the pumpkins, and planted the bean poles. I've mowed just about the entire barracks, again, all bar the orchard, which is on the dance card for today. Talking of the orchard, it's looking like the pear trees are going to be the stars of the year, and the peaches, frost to be willing. That would be lovely. So we have planting, watering, sowing, mowing, and writing. The writing is almost starting to get a little scary. The good people at the publishers are very keen to be getting on with the considerable amount of work involving a very large number of people, which is not the words. I'm still in charge of the words, and they want things like lists of illustrations as well. I had an idea for the style of illustrations, a bit new, a bit novel, never before seen in a gardening book. It's not a gardening book. That the good folks over at DK seem to really like. And the good lady in charge of putting layout together and commissioning artists and the like is really running with. I'll be so excited to show you in the fullness of time. But without the words, they're kind of shooting in the dark, and that's on me. So I'm working on a new sort of timetable. I do about 45 minutes of something gardenery, and then I come inside and sit at the computer for about 45 minutes. I didn't decide the timings, I just do some stuff until I've had enough of it. And every time that seems to work out to be about 45 minutes. Strangely. Yoga, gardening, pigs, dig, mow, write. In the chunks of 3/4 of an hour. In chunks of 3 times a quarter of an hour. I became aware of this tempo long before I realised that I'm actually working on school time. Classroom programming is 45 minutes of concerted, concentrated effort, then a context change, rinse and repeat. I wonder, do I find this program useful because I was conditioned to it for a dozen years as a child, or is the school day actually a genius distillation of energy, efficiency and achievement? I guess we will never know. And finally, too much compost? I might have gotten too good at making compost. I know, heresy, right? There is definitely no such thing as too much compost. The ground can always be improved, and there is no upper limit of how many carbons we should be pulling out of the air and saving as delicious, nutritious composts. But here's my problem for this year. I've still not planted all the seed potatoes because there's a big pile of compost in the way, maybe 18 wheelbarrows full. I've not fully emptied the big compost heap because I'm not totally sure where to put it. I've covered the pumpkin patch at 10 centimetres deep in semi-rotted stable manure. Where I've planted the bean poles for the runner beans, I've mulched the paths between them with compost. And I haven't even sent the pigs to their summer field yet, because I haven't finished mucking out their summer house from last year. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to have to clean their winter house from this year. And this year I was especially generous with their bedding through the cold months. There's going to be considerably more of that crap than usual. I still don't think there's a possibility of too much compost, but if there is, we just hit it. And damn, I'm cutting this one fine today. I was miserably uninspired all weekend, but fortunately I seem to have started Monday off in a much more creative mood. This bodes well for the week. Have a lovely week, one and all, and take some time out of your day to go and be nice to someone. Much priority love. Your loving Pirate Ben. XO. XO.